So,
But yeah, so I've been
yeah.
back on my podcast game as far as being a listener.
I've been Riverdaleing it so much. I'm
Yeah, I
two
have 3
episodes
episodes left
away.
before we talk about it on Thursday.
I am 2 away from finishing season 2. And
Okay.
I'm like, oh my, like, why did I stop watching? I don't remember.
um, well, I'm glad that I'm binging it for the podcast because I feel like Riverdale is designed to be binged. The way that it airs weekly and then they take a break and sometimes it's off the air for a couple of months, I feel like you forget things that happen, and a lot of things happen in that show. So I feel like I'm going to
Oh,
get
yeah.
more out of it by binging it.
Yeah, I feel
But
yeah, I couldn't imagine watching it live. So,
that's a different podcast, which will be
but
Thursday
that
night.
I was gonna say Thursday, 8/7 Central, when we talk about Riverdale season 1. Tonight we are talking about Eastsiders. And look,
The
I
web
said it.
series
I
gone
said it
Netflix series.
correctly. Oh, we keep talking over each other. I said it correctly. I keep wanting to call it Eastenders just because I'm so used to when I say East and
Yeah.
soap operas, talk about the other one.
Yeah. I had the same issue too. I feel like there's a pause in my brain before I speak because my brain's like, no, don't say the wrong one.
Same.
But this is Eastsiders. So let's roll the credits and we will get into it.
Da, 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 I don't know.
It's just the two of us tonight.
I know, it's just family. No, all of our guests are like family. As much as they come on, I see them more than I see my family.
But we talk to them more than we talk to our family.
Yeah, that's true. So Eastsiders.
Season 1.
Season 1.
So Van Hansis, who was on Not Another World, As the World Turns, sorry. And he played Luke on that show, is on this show.
Mm-hmm. He plays Tom.
Yeah. So I know it sounds like Tom, but I think when I looked up stuff about the show, it was spelled like Thom, like Thom. So then I thought I was hearing it wrong. But then somebody called him Thomas.
No. Well, that's how my uncle's name is Thomas, and he goes by Tom, but he spells it Thom. And that's what the credits are, not credits, but the captions. That's how they spell Tom, Thom.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the captions on.
I for some reason watch with the captions. I don't know why. I just really kind of enjoy it.
I don't normally watch TV like that, but Kyle does sometimes, and for some reason when I use Hulu, the volume is a lot lower for some reason, even when I put it all the way up. Like, I'm like, what are they saying? So I put the captions on. Greg made me turn it off because he doesn't like it. It was distracting him.
Well, I kind of do it as well because if I miss a spot, I can glance and see, oh, that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps me from rewinding.
But so the basic premise, at least for season 1, is this is a very dysfunctional.
Ooh, this is how I describe Eastsiders. Drink, cheat, drink, cheat, drink, 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 cheat, cheat, portion, drink, drink, drink. Don't know what the fuck's going on relationship wise. And that sums it all up.
So what I gathered from like the little things they would slip in, and from like the back and forth with the flashbacks, like 1 minute we were in the past, the next it was like after the fact.
Oh, I was so confused that second episode. I was like, wait.
Yeah, so
and then
yeah. So basically it was 2012, so they went to the end of the world party at a bar.
Oh, I remember when it was the end of the world. We've lived through 2 now. Y2K,
Only 2?
Oh, only 2? Huh. I don't know. Maybe there's been more than 2.
No,
It's ending all the time.
Y2K in 2012. I felt like there was another one.
There probably was.
Thank God for Buffy. She's saving the world a lot.
We beeped her.
The apocalypse came. So they went to an end of the world party for 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And so the couple is Cal
and Tom.
and Tom. And Cal drinks a lot. They all drink a lot, but Cal drinks a lot. Like he was like,
oh no, and they mix drinks. Like they'll be drinking champagne one minute or wine or something, and then they get the hard liquor out whiskey. I'm just like, ooh, no wonder
I
you
noticed
all
that the
cheating.
whiskey bottle is like a Jack Daniels label, but they have it turned so that you can't see that it's a Jack Daniels label.
I've never had whiskey, but is it when I do a shot of anything, I'm like, I make a face. Can y'all just drink whiskey like it's nothing?
I do.
Oh, okay. So it's normal.
Sometimes I'll have a Jack and ginger ale or a Jack and Coke. But sometimes at home, I'll just like put some ice in a glass and I'll just put whiskey on it and that'll be my drink for the night. Like if I'm just chilling with Kyle, I have friends over, I'll just sip on that all night.
See, my cousin would do that with vodka, but she was going through a hard time.
I wouldn't say it tastes good. It burns a little depending on the brand, but
well, they must have had good stuff because it doesn't seem like it burned. Because they would just be like,
I mean, I always make a grimace whenever I take sips of liquor until like I've had like, at least one, and then I'm just like down the hatch. But to me, if a drink tastes good, then it's not strong enough. I need to taste the liquor.
See, I like to mask the taste of liquor. I'm like a little more juice, but like I don't. Oh, that was not a good hand gesture to me.
See, to me, that's more dangerous. That's why I can't do rum punches because they taste so good that I don't know if it's sugar or I'm just drinking them because they taste good. I get sick.
Tommy sees what happens when something tastes good. I can't taste the alcohol. I get white girl wasted.
Your Long Island iced teas that we turned into Hawaiian iced teas with pineapple juice.
That will mess you up. I don't know how. They were so good. Now you have a go somewhere. I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, you should get a Long Island iced tea, but not with whatever goes in it.
Cool.
Pineapple juice. Okay, yeah. I didn't know what was going in it. I'm not a drinker, so.
There's 5 different liquors in it, and I always forget what the 4th or 5th liquor is, but yeah. And you were chugging multiple drinks with 5 different liquors in them.
I was like this.
And then you were like, done, it was a race.
Other people are here? Oh, cool. Nice to meet you.
But yeah, so Cal showed up at the party wasted. I feel like also from things I picked up that they kind of like slipped in, he was like a late in life guy. He didn't come out till he was like 23, I think.
I related to him on so many levels. Yes.
I believe Tom was his first.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that maybe he drinks a lot because he's kind of self-loathing and insecure, and he's kind of trying to suppress those feelings.
Well, he's also an artist who's not really getting to do much with his art and stuff like,
And I think because Tom was his first relationship.
As someone who's been through something similar to that, not the drinking part or all the cheating, but the first thing, it's hard when someone's your first. It's hard to break away because you have that connection.
Where I think his insecurities came and not trusting him, and Tom must have had a reputation for being a player, like sleeping around. Or
He
maybe
went
he
to
just got cheating.
You think he went to break up with the guy and ended up not even getting to the point. He just was like, "Know what? Forget it."
Yeah. So the guy's name is Jeremy, and I think he comes back in the later season. Maybe next season. I felt like there was a break and then he came back, but we'll see. So Jeremy also was a little bit needy. Even after he found out that Tom was in a relationship and was sent to break up with him, he still kind of pursued it. And then Cal knew Tom well enough to know that he did not break up with him and went to see Jeremy to tell him.
That is always like that's. Oh, no, I knew it wasn't going to end well. I was like, I wasn't expecting him to sleep with them like that. I was like, oh, okay. It's not how I would confront the other man.
I liked how they started out with one drink and then slowly the bottle got lower and lower. They just kept drinking.
When Cal's around, you better lock your liquor cabinet because he gonna drink, it seems.
And then afterwards, Jeremy was like, "Do you want to know who was better?"
I was like, "Why would you ask that?" But yes.
And then he was just like, "Fuck you." I hate you.
And I'm still thinking, I would want to know, but I'd be the one saying no, yes, no. Okay, tell me. No, yeah.
But I think this is when he slipped in that he had only ever been with Tom. Because he said, "Isn't it obvious?" Like he didn't have the experience or whatever.
In my opinion, though, just because you've had sex with a lot of people does not mean you're good at it.
That is true. So then I didn't understand what Jeremy was trying to do because he like showed up. Well, no, he showed up. He knew that was where Calvin worked. At the art gallery.
I was like, ooh, you've been on Facebook, like deep diving to figure out all this stuff.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell if he was also kind of having a thing for Calvin and trying to pursue that because he hadn't heard from Tom.
See, yeah, I was very conflicted on what Jeremy was wanting. Like, I was like, do you want Tom or are you trying to come between him? You know, there's a lot going on.
Maybe he was just lonely and he would have took either one.
Because I felt bad for him at first because I was like, oh, he didn't know that he was the other, the other man.
Mm-hmm.
But then once he's like, just sleeps with the guy, I'm like, oh, so you don't care? Okay.
It kind of reminded me of season 2 Knots Landing with Judy Trent. How she just let Val know. Yeah, and then he ends up buying a photograph of Calvin's that's actually a photograph of Tom.
Was that photo not $800?
Yes.
I think that's what it's the back of Tom's head.
Yes, someone's a little bit obsessed.
No.
But he's a furniture maker, and furniture is expensive, especially custom furniture.
Yes, but the photo itself, out of all Tom could have put on that wall, or not Tom, Cal, of all the photos Cal could have put on that gallery wall, because you know he has a lot because he's a photographer. He picks the one of Tom's back of his head. Like, there's nothing to. I'm not trying to be mean. Maybe that's artsy, but to me, it was like, I ain't paying $800. Mm-mm. I was like, ooh, I got some photos I'll give you for $800.
So eventually, Tom ends up having a guilty conscience, and he ends up admitting that he slept with Jeremy one more time before they broke up, even though he never really broke up. He just stopped answering his phone calls.
Which I don't think they were technically dating, though, either. It was just kind of like
he just stopped showing up and calling. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's not. If we've seen Fatal Attraction, you don't just stop talking to them.
Yes, I did. I thought about Fatal Attraction actually.
Like, see, the soap opera mind in me is like, oh, when does Jeremy turn just completely evil and goes off the rails? You know.
But then I actually thought it was pretty shitty of Calvin to like get mad at him and then not admit that he also slept with Jeremy.
Well, see, but then I thought it was really wrong of Tom to be like, "Oh, I'm ending everything because you slept with you cheated with me on your boss." I feel like they could have saved each other a lot of trouble if they would have just went, "You know what? We're even."
Pretty much.
You had Jeremy. We shared Jeremy. I had him. Put it in a box. Mark it in the back of your head. Do not open ever.
And then we had like the side story with Cal's best friend Kathy, who I can't decide if I like her or hate her.
Okay,
because
I'm back.
I thought she was funny, and sometimes she's very erratic, and I was like, "Shh, calm down."
I love her, but then I'm like, "Girl, you crazy." But then I'm like, "Girl, I love you." I love when she made me think of me with you for one moment. She opens the door, or they open the door. She's like, "Hi, Thomas." I was like, "See, it's just fun to say."
So I can't remember the character's name or her boyfriend.
Ian.
Ian.
Who I read is married to the guy that created the show.
Cal.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's right. Kit Williamson.
Yes. Who was on Mad Men.
Kit Williamson was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was Ian did really good at Straight because I bought it.
I was hoping you didn't know that. I wanted to drop that bomb on you.
I was like, see, Hollywood, gays can play straight. We're layered.
Well, they know that was a lot of the leading men back in the 50s and 60s were gay.
Well, true, but they don't like openly. See, openly gay men can play straight.
Yeah. Well, Greg Ricard does it on Y&R, and then he goes to Days and plays gay.
But he played straight before he came out, didn't he?
No, he was gay on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, but
and then
in
real
life, he hadn't come out yet.
No, I don't. I think he came out maybe in the last 5 years officially.
See, that's something I feel like Hollywood still has a problem with. Once a person comes out, it's hard for them to get cast in those roles.
Yeah,
which isn't fair, but.
So they went a little dark. She ended up Kathy ended up getting pregnant, and she ended up having an abortion. I didn't know she was actually going to go through with it. I didn't know if Ian was going to get to the clinic before she went through with it.
See, there's our soap opera mind working. Like, she's on the table.
I've watched this before.
Getting the procedure, and we're thinking Ian's just going to run in and be like, "Don't do it."
Yeah. I have residual trauma from Mimi's abortion on Days. Which I actually just watched recently because I was watching 2004. But
I thought they handled it. I mean, it was, but they didn't shy away from it. Like, they didn't have it happen, and then they actually talked about it. So
it wasn't a thing. Like, it was just like, okay, it was her choice, and she did it.
Where he was like, "Yeah, I get that it was your choice. I just wish you would have told me." Yeah,
I like how Ian was like, "This is the new Ian. I don't like you, whatever." She's like, "You still want to date me?"
One thing, like, I related to these characters because they're very needy, and I remember being very needy. And I was like, "Why are you so needy?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you're me!" Like 3 years ago. Oh, who am I kidding? 2 years ago. The other day.
Well, the show starts out because it's like the day after the end of the world party. So the show starts out with that. And then the second episode shows the end of the world party that happened before all that. That led to all the drama in the first episode. So she storms in thinking she's engaged.
Oh, I know. I was so confused when I watched it. I was like, oh, girl wasn't even engaged at all.
No.
Okay. That would have so been me.
They were like, I don't want to marry you. I don't want to marry you either. Wait, you still want to date though?
She's so concerned about him dating. She's at that awkward age where you're like, I don't want to be married, but I don't want to be alone. Oh, the late 20s. Hard times.
I think at some point she said they were 25.
Really? I thought they were a little bit older than that.
Yeah, so did I.
Which,
But they could have been, because I think Kit Williamson is around, well, he's around my age. I think he might be like a year older than me.
I was 20, 25, 26 when the show would have premiered, I guess. So
Yeah, I was like 27. So.
Oh man, that seems like forever ago.
I know.
I will say it took me a little bit to realize that was Constant Wu. I was like, I know this girl. Where do I know her from?
Off the boat.
Fresh Off the Boat, but I know her from Crazy Rich Asians and Hustler. Yes. Which
yes. Oh yeah, wow.
Both really great movies, really excellent work.
I just saw Hustlers for the first time. Like,
oh, really?
Justice, like a month ago.
Does it make you rethink your career options? You're like,
yeah. I'd be like Lily Reinhardt's character throwing up every time something bad happens.
Oh.
Yeah, so you had texted me that you finished season 1.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
But it was no
After Forever.
And I kinda stewed on that for a minute. And I was like, it's different. I felt things hit different. This was a dysfunctional relationship, and I've definitely been in dysfunctional relationships like this, where
same
you keep hurting each other and making up and breaking up when you should just break up for good, but like you're in this like endless cycle and you're like addicted to like the misery.
I don't know if it's the misery as much as the just you kind of feel like
Cal's miserable. I'm sorry, he was.
Yeah, I related to Cal a lot.
Because I did too, because I felt the feelings that he was feeling, the insecurity and not being able to trust that person, knowing.
Because I could switch out the events and let's take the cheating aspect and turn it into drugs. Mm-hmm. And that's how like the relationship I had that was very similar to, it was like, is he giving up the drugs for real? Is he not? He was my first everything, first love, first kiss, first everything. Well, not first kiss, but first everything else. So not wanting to, because like when they revealed their arms, just their hands holding at the very end, I was like, oh God, y'all are getting back together, and it's gonna be.
No, when they actually broke up, and they were like moving, he was moving. Well, they were both.
Like that very last scene where
laying on the floor, they were holding hands.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, I've been there. Like sometimes it's hard to break away from stuff like relationships like that.
But I also feel like my first relationship was toxic. I was going to say not to this level, but in a different way. Because once I lost trust, I was very much like, you hurt me, I'm going to keep hurting you because you hurt me. And it was just like this vicious cycle. We were always making up, breaking up. And for about a year and a half, it was just like, why are we not just like staying broken up? We're not happy together.
Yep.
Or I was not happy.
Like, once you lose the trust, it's hard to get that back. I'm not saying you can't, but it's still like there's still moments from my past relationships I have to remind myself this isn't that.
Yes, I've had those moments too. And going forward from that relationship, I've always had the mentality that, like, don't lie to me. Like, even if you did something bad, just don't lie to me, because I've been lied to so many times. And I know myself, once I can't trust you, that's it. The relationship's over. I'm always going to question every single thing.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
I went to
So thank God
therapy.
for
Greg. Poor Greg and John. Bless their hearts. Like, I went to therapy, but I stopped going once it just pretty much when the therapist tells you, well, you're doing everything I would recommend. I'm like,
but it's not working.
I'm still a mess. So that's great. No, I'm happy I'm doing what you would recommend, but clearly this is a mess. What do I do now?
What's next?
It's like, all right, new therapist. Because I'm going to need some different answers.
So, yeah. Tracy Lords was Cal's mother.
I saw, yeah.
She could drink too. See how many gin martinis she had?
The liver on any of these people.
Okay, first of all, the amount of gin martinis she had, and then she was like, "Oh, I have to drive home tonight." And he's like, "No, that's tomorrow night." And she was like, "Oh," and she like ordered more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their tolerance level would probably be really high, but whew. My liver hurts for them.
Right. So Tom ends up finding the picture of him that Cal took and had in the gallery, and him and Jeremy break up.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the other one though. Tom and his boss.
Cal and his boss?
Cal and his boss, yes. Okay. I felt really bad, but there are moments. I mean, I had Tom's already cheated, so it's whatever. They were going to break up, whatever. I was kind of like, ooh, Cal, get with your boss. He's cute. Your relationship's over, so. But it was a little creepy when he's like, go lock the door, kiddo. I was like, ooh, you just, ew. Like, he kept calling Cal kiddo. And I was just, it's like, that's no.
Wasn't there a point earlier in the season where Cal called him at the gallery and he was kind of joking that his boss wanted to sleep with him? And didn't he say he should go for it or something?
Ooh, I don't remember that, so I don't want to.
Maybe he didn't say go for it, but he was like saying, he wants to sleep with you or something like that. And he was like, no,
yeah, he did. Then you find out he's married. I'm like, does anyone in this show not cheat? Well, I mean, I guess technically Ian and what's her name? I don't remember her name. Kathy. That the only non-cheaters that we know of at the moment. They've lied to each other, but they haven't cheated.
You know the other guy on the show? I don't know his name. The one that had the CDs as his earrings, and he ended up taking
the end of the world party guy. Yeah.
So Willem comes on the show at some point, and he's a regular cast member. And him and Willem actually end up in a relationship on the show.
Really?
I haven't seen every season. I think there's 4 seasons, and I've seen 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 4 seasons.
I think I've seen 3 because I found the show one New Year's Day, and maybe I found it because the new season had just come out, so they were like promoting it on Netflix. So I watched like the first 3 seasons in like a day and a half because I was going to say
it didn't move to Netflix until its last season. I thought
season 3 it did.
Oh, okay, because the episodes do get longer.
Yeah. I think in season 3 they become like close to a half an hour long.
It's a good quality show, put together very well.
Oh, one thing I noticed was Tom's iPhone 4S because it was nice and small and compact, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that little keyboard."
How crazy crazy is it now that just 2013, those phones just already seem so ancient.
I know.
It's like,
I
oh,
love my 4S.
you're like, you have a home button? Mine doesn't even have a button now.
Oh, I still have mine because I still have a 7 Plus.
Oh.
I'm like holding on to it for dear life because I don't want to give it my button.
You don't miss it. You don't miss it. I swear
That's
you
what
don't
everybody
miss
says, but I don't believe everybody.
Well, as someone who is crazy, believe me, you don't miss it.
I'll get it eventually. It just when my phone dies, I'll get a new one.
I will say I did let it play into season 2. And dear God, that starts with a threesome. I was like, oh, okay, we together, but we got a threesome going. Okay.
All right. I didn't start season 2, so thanks for that.
You've seen it.
I know, but I don't remember. I watched it like 3 years ago.
Which, nothing against threesomes, all for them.
So how would you grade this season, I guess? I'd give it a B.
I was gonna say B plus.
Okay.
Because I liked it was shot well. You almost forget that it was just a web series.
A lot of the emotions were relatable.
Oh God, I related more than I wanted to. It made me miss
that I've wanted to recommend to people, but I just feel like unless you've had similar experiences, they wouldn't really like it.
Oh yeah, if someone just started watching it who hasn't been through a lot, but had such a perfect little life. Sorry, I don't have any, no ill will.
If you're broken, watch it.
If you're broken, yes. If you're broken, watch it. But if you're too broken, don't go over to After Forever because then it will break you.
All right, so that's all I really have to say about it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I will continue with it. It's not like
yeah, I definitely want to continue to cover the rest of the series since it's so short.
I do. Oh, I'm trying to think what I was trying to say. I just lost my train. But no, I feel like it could be very relatable to a lot of people in the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Well, that's it for now. You can join us on Thursday night for a special 3rd episode of Queers and Soaps,
where we talk about Riverdale
season 1.
I am so in love with it again. I forgot how much I was.
Maybe what do I have? I have a Southside Serpent sweater, but I think it's only on the back. I'm not really sure.
I have a Southside Serpent t-shirt. I'll have to find it. I have a Pops mug. I have a Pops ice cream dish.
And my Jughead.
Oh, I need to get those. I've always loved Riverdale. Like I didn't read a lot of the comics, but I knew about them. And I was always
about them. I always liked the Bazooka Gum little comic strips that used to come. Those were fun.
I just always liked I knew there was a big rich world with the comics and everything, and I was always shocked that it took that long to make a TV show. Like Sabrina
in the early 90s because I found it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they did that.
I don't know if it was also called Riverdale or if it was called just Archie. I'll look it up. I'll send it to you.
All I know is anytime something goes wrong with Fred now or anything, like right now Archie aren't really getting along. I'm like, you be nice to him. He's going to die soon.
I know, me too.
Like I'm so emotional about it, like because I'm gonna have to experience it again, and this time I didn't just tune in for that episode. I'm going to feel all the emotions leading up to it. So I feel tears coming already.
I know.
Because it's Luke Perry.
It reminded me also how much I love Alice Cooper, though.
Oh, I love her.
Her and FP. Oh my god, the chemistry. And I have to say, I know it's not really a popular opinion, but I was a Bughead. Was really into Betty and Jughead.
Wait, people aren't into Betty and Jughead?
The Bargy fans, no. I mean, okay, so you know this about me. I don't like to be told who's endgame. Don't tell me who to like. Let things progress naturally, and I will decide who I want to be together. I don't like that they, from the first episode, are telling me Betty and Archie are supposed to be together. Because now I don't want that, because you're telling me that. Just like, this is why I didn't like Peyton and Lucas on One Tree Hill, because you're telling me that I'm supposed to be rooting for them, but he has so much chemistry with Brooke.
Yeah.
And Vampire Diaries, they were trying to shove Stefan and Elena down my throat, and I didn't want that. It was Damon and Elena.
I thought they were trying to shove Damon and Elena down people's throat.
Well, eventually it shifted, and Damon and Elena.
Because I was very much a Stefan and Elena fan.
But I did hear that had Nina Dobrev decided to stay, that they were going to revisit Stefan and Elena.
Oh, that would have been nice.
But I was kind of into Caroline and Stefan. But
Ooh, see, I was too. Once they put Caroline and Stefan together, I was like, Elena and Stefan who?
I mean, obviously my first choice would have been Klaus and Caroline, but, you know, you take what you can get.
Like when Stefan's heart's pulled out and Caroline sees it and she just, the song. Oh, I was a wreck.
Can we please cover Vampire Diaries next year?
We're going to have to. And people are probably thinking, is there not a show that doesn't make you a wreck? I get very invested. I fall quick and I fall hard.
I feel my feelings.
And fast. And they multiply, like they ramp up when it's, So.
But, all right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Don't forget to like, subscribe. What else can they do? Oh, donate to the podcast on Venmo. And follow us on all social media platforms at Queers and Soaps. Until Thursday, we'll see you soon.
Bye.